We're making great progress on all the various tasks related to our mountain road driveway project. We've moved a lot of rocks, and we're going to continue moving them this week, both small rocks and huge boulders. We're also going to finish our septic tank exterior construction. You've seen over the last couple of videos all the work that's gone into building a concrete box and various boulder retaining walls for the septic system. And we're going to try to answer a lot of questions that viewers had about the septic system itself, but also about the cost of all of this construction. Our blue granite boulder retaining wall is also taking shape. We've taken 26 or so massive boulders that have been stored down at the bottom of our property for the last 3-4 months, and we're bringing them up to make a base for our 2-meter tall retaining wall on the mountainside of our driveway. Okay, while Michio is cleaning up the rocks down there, I'm just going to give you a brief explanation about the septic tank. We had several people ask various questions about the septic tank, including questions about the structure, the concrete box that we created, questions about the technology of the septic tank itself and why we don't need a leach field. We've shown over the past 2 or 3 videos the construction of the concrete box itself. 2 of the walls are 2.7 meters tall and 2 are 1.7 meters tall. The tall walls are 200 mil thick and the short ones are 150 mil thick. We chose the height and thickness due to the location of the box itself. It's sitting below our driveway line, but not far away. So the tall walls, the ones facing the driveway in particular, will hold back some backfill or earth and therefore need to be strong enough to support it. In a couple minutes, I'll share the cost of all this extra container construction. Now, the septic tank itself is pretty high-tech. For instance, it doesn't have or need a leach field, as I've said and several people have asked about. You can see the product name and number here from FujiClean's English literature. This same product is likely available worldwide. It has 5 chambers for filtering waste, such that the raw waste enters from the left in this drawing, goes through the 5 chambers, and after some time the clean water exits on the right side of the drawing. It has a 1,000 liter capacity, it's designed for a family of 5, and it probably needs cleaning or attention every 12 to 18 months. Now, in place of the leach field, this model requires a percolation tank, which is what we're building today. Some viewers will be familiar with the term percolation area or perk test. The perk test is something most people with septic systems have to do to determine how quickly and or effectively water will absorb into the ground. While doing a perk test is a law in some countries, and it may also be in Japan, our particular prefecture and county didn't ask for or require one. Maybe because I'm pretty alone on my 3 acres on the mountain, I don't know. I asked anyway, but no. Last video, I shared the installation of the tank into the concrete box and surrounding it with volcanic sand. And today's video, we share the final construction of the percolation tank. Let's just look a little at the landscape and how this septic fits into it in relation to the house and the mountain slope and the driveway and the parking. The septic tank is in a low elevation compared to the house and even the driveway and parking above it. This is good for its operation, but as one viewer asked, how are you going to slow down everything coming down that steep slope? Great question, Paul. In the design of our pipes, which run under the driveway and under the parking pad, we've anticipated the steep drop from the house to the upper parking and built a 90-degree elbow to provide the first speed bump. At this point, we've also installed a cleanout. Then there are about 6 more 90-degree turns to further slow things down before the waste enters the septic tank. We're confident this is sufficient. Okay, in terms of cost, I've got 4 broad categories, and I'm going to summarize them in Japanese yen and US dollars. So our first category is the construction of the concrete box. The concrete, the rebar, the pump truck. The total there is 247,000 yen or 1,600 US dollars. I think there were 7 about 7 cubic meters of concrete in this pour. The second category is formwork, hardware, gravel, and tool rental, and that total is 171,800 yen, or $1,100. The third category is the septic tank itself and the plumber's fees and the plumber's parts for installing the septic tank. That total is 382,000 yen, or $2,500. There's also a labor component to this, since I haven't been working alone for the last 2.5 months. But Michio's contribution is spread across a whole range of different projects, so I'm not going to include it here. So the total for all of this, without the labor, is 800,000 yen, or $5,200. But it's definitely a doable DIY project, and the cost isn't out of this world. 平気、平気、平気、水平気。親父冗談。親父冗談だよ。Okay, we got it. このままで。砂は後で買ってくる？いいよ。はい。はい。いいよ。OK、左。OK、下。ちょっと待って。OK。Just leave it like this. They're going to put a 90-degree L right here, and this will just be a drip function. これ石入れるでしょ。砂利って今残ってる砂利？砂利でもいいし、袋の砂利いっぱい。その袋の砂利。OK。石とかでかい石とかは必要ない？OK。はい。よし。 Shimoda. But this is it, we're done. The whole septic now is done, except for the pump. There's going to be an aeration pump that's going to be attached to that wall. We're going to fill in the cover here with concrete. We're going to put a concrete cover on it, and we have to hook up the electricity, and then of course we have to hook it up to the house. And this is a working unit, but the outside construction and preparation is all done. That's it. Well, we're getting started on the boulder retaining wall now on the mountainside of our road up from the city road, the town road, up to the parking pad here behind me. What we're first going to do is draw some lines to give us just a general idea of the width of the road, and then we also have to pay attention on that side to make sure the rocks aren't so close to the cut that we can't, you know, put a proper slope on the top. There's a legal requirement for a specific slope on the top, and I'll get into that in more detail later. Okay. でも反対側の方が綺麗。こっちの方が綺麗。こっちの方が見したい。あのね。Okay, so this is our first real start on these rocks, and we've only got 5 in place right now, and it's the end of the day. That's okay, we had to finish the septic tank construction first. But we're good. Tomorrow we'll get, well, I was thinking if we had one every 15 minutes, but it's looking like it's taking us 30 minutes for one rock. So tomorrow, if we get 16 rocks in place, we'll be pretty much finished. Fingers crossed. Let's see what tomorrow holds. We'll maybe get 5 more from down here, and then we'll have 10 to choose from, and we can continue on up the driveway. Okay. Okay. There. Okay. Okay. Ah. So. So first of all, we wanted a good line along this curving road. And the straight line here is the rocks that we've been able to get in place. At the end there's 4 or 5 that are just there placeholders. They're not in their final position yet. Same with this one right here, not in the final position yet. So what we're going to do now is backfill, and you can see that we actually left quite a bit of space between the rock wall and the cut. And that's because when we get the rock wall up to about 1.7, 1.8 meters high, then we're going to start shaving, leveling, grading the earth back at between a 30 and a 40 degree slope back to the natural point. Oh, there goes my glove. So the rock wall actually had to be this far out for us to achieve that legal slope at the top. Michio is backfilling now, not just for the permanent feature of the wall. Of course we have to backfill everything, but right now he's doing it because there's a couple of low spots in the top of the wall, and we are going to put, we've got several flattish blue rocks left that can't really be used in another position safely. We can't stand them up, but they're nice as big flat table type rocks. So we're going to use 3 of them, I think, in the areas where you see the top of the rock getting low. ちょっと待ってよ。ちょっと。
正面よせって。
はい。
そんなのでわかるのか。
So we have spotted the perfect face when the rock is on the ground, and then lost it as soon as we lifted it up. Too many times now. So I am putting a marker on what Michio is laughing at is I'm putting the marker point on the face that is facing out that we will always see, and it'll never go away. My favorite, most blue rock is in the point position. We discovered that we need to have something blocking this area here so we can backfill properly. So I found two of the most purple rocks you've ever seen. And they're gonna sit there and complement the beauty of the blue. Michio thinks my design sense is I've said before that we were going to run out of boulders, and probably by the end of day tomorrow we will finish the whole line, but then we will be out of the big blue boulders. And so that means we've got to build layers on top of these big blue boulders with other rocks. Our goal with putting the rocks where they are is to achieve a 3.5 meter width at the narrowest point of the road. And that's right where the excavator is now. Actually, that 3.5 width continues from there almost down to the bottom. From there and up, it gets much wider. Where I'm standing, it's about 8 meters wide. And then at the parking area here right behind me, it's also 8, 9, 10 meters wide. So we've still got, it's a narrow road. 3.5 meters isn't a lot, but it's enough for single car traffic, single car careful traffic as we are coming and going to the house. We have decided that we're only going to pour concrete up to here, to the halfway point. So that's why we started with the rocks at this point. This bottom level of rocks we're going to do tomorrow, so we'll be back with that tomorrow. But when we pour concrete, it's only going to be from here. I guess the reasoning is because we have a limited number of people. There's a lot to do. I intend to do some stamping with the concrete when we actually pour. So there's just actually a lot to do, and we don't have enough people to pour the whole thing in one go. So back tomorrow. Okay, we have finished for the week. We have got all of our big old rocks in, all of the blue granite. We've used up every single one of them. There's 26, and we used up all of them, and I think we had one, we were short one, but we packed that empty space with 2 little rocks right there. So, I mean, we couldn't have planned it better. Well, we couldn't have planned it better, but actually we could have planned it better if I had twice as many of those rocks. But the base for the rock wall is essentially done. So we're back next week to prepare for the concrete pour. We've got a lot of stuff to do before the concrete pour, and I think we have about 6 or 7 days to do it all in. So come back next week for all that preparation work, and then the week after is the concrete pour, if the gods are smiling on us. Thanks everybody for hanging around. We'll talk again soon.